Alright guys, Oxa here for another video on Legend of Mushroom, in which one I'm talking about the amazing, or what am I saying, the beautiful new mount we just had for the price of an artifact in the new event. You know, I'm talking about that event in which you need to spend 1,000 rows to obtain the unicorn mount if you're not lucky to get it before. But is it worth it? This is what we are gonna find out in this video. But before going into content, let me remind you that my promo code changed on Aptoide. Now it's not a Mushroom 2 anymore, but it's Act 5. You need to write that in your AppCoins wallet. Now it's called the Aptoide wallet. If you want to have the 5% extra cashback when you are doing any purchase in the shop, for example, if I want to buy the biggest pack here, I'm gonna pay the $300. Yeah, 350 euros with the conversion, but I'm getting 73 euros in cashback that I can reuse later to buy any pack for free. For example, I have some at the moment after my purchases on the previous event, so I can just select another payment method, select the sold the Aptoide sold, and I can just basically buy that pack for free because I spent in the past. AHK5 Act 5 as written on the right of the screen, so you are not only getting some cashback, but you are supporting my channel, so thank you so much to everyone who is gonna use my promo code. Alright, so first of all, let's check what is doing the mount. The unicorn spreads its wings every 12 seconds, resisting damage of the next active skill hit on the character, excluding the class, aviate and summoning skills, during which the character is gaining 50% defense and ignores all control effects. After the unicorn resists damage, the defense boost and control immunity will disappear, and meanwhile, the character reflects the active skill to the attacker and gains 4% attack and 4% damage resistance until the battle ends, up to 3 stacks, and it triggers at the start of the fight. So there is already one issue with that. When you start the fight, you are gonna block one skill, of course, and normally you are supposed to reflect the damage to the opponent, but it doesn't go through the blitz assault of the target, so don't expect to deal any damage at all with that mount directly at the start. It's just not gonna work. But if you're facing a Dark Lord or a Prophet with a lot of attack speed, and if you are taking some pre-blitz damage, you are gonna reduce the damage you take. And in that scenario, this is pretty nice. I'm gonna show that to you right after I have a couple fights with my Warbringer versus others, because I firstly thought that it would have been better with a Warbringer, because the mages are countering the Warbringer, you know what I mean? So I tried that, I'm gonna show that to you after that, okay? So you are getting 4% more attack and 4% damage resistance every 12 seconds and 1 stack directly at the beginning of the fight. So this is basically the equivalent of that mount and the Nebular Shuttle here. But this mount is also giving to you some final damage resistance when you have a shield, and you have the shield every 11 seconds, so you are generally more tanky when you are using the Nebular Shuttle instead of the unicorn. This is something that I tried as well, so I'm gonna show you the examples. Alright? So I was firstly thinking that on a long fight it would be great to use that mount versus a mage, because you would proc the effects multiple times, right? But the fact is that I'm just gonna show you. I'm gonna show you, you will see if it is working or not. So I am in PvP here. I did a couple fights yesterday, so let's start with the first one. You know, we are gonna play a game. I'm gonna show you 3 different fights using 3 different mounts, and you will tell me in the comment below which mount is associated to what combat, okay? So I have the Nebular Shuttle, I have the Cheetah mount. The Cheetah mount is probably gonna be the easiest one to identify though, and I had the unicorn, okay? So let's start with the first one. I'm just gonna show you the replays, and after that I'm gonna tell you the answer. So this is what happened here. I died very fast, but I don't know if you noticed that I still had like a 2% HP left at the end, right after the pre-blitz. Second fight here. I had more HP left after the pre-blitz. Okay, let's replay that again. Pre-blitz, more HP left, and I'm taking a bit less damage than before, and I was able to release a bit more damage on the target. By the way, this is a Dark Lord. And finally, last fight here. Let's check the difference. And that was a one-shot directly, okay? So, do you have it? So the first replay here, I am using the Nebular Shuttle. So I have like 2% HP left after the pre-blitz damage, and that was the Nebular Shuttle. The second attempt, I was using the unicorn. So with the unicorn, I'm able to prevent the first skill damage taken, And so generally the mage class in front are using the starter race skill, which one is the best one to deal damage with the mage. And so I can prevent this damage. So in that scenario, this is the best mount to use. And finally, here of course I was using the cheetah mount. So with that mount, one shot directly, and I'm not even able to release a bit of damage on the target. So in that case, the new mount was the best mount. And then I wanted to try versus a tankier player. So I have Hell Dino here. This is a Prophet, very tanky regen build. And so I'm gonna try that. Normally I should take a lot of skill damage. We are gonna see if the unicorn can do something. So if I check the gear I have equipped on my character at the moment, I have the cheetah mount first, alright? So let's first try with the cheetah mount, then the nebula shuttle, and finally the unicorn, just to do some comparisons. So let's go in challenge mode, Hell Dino, there we go, first fight with the cheetah mount. Let's see what I am able to do. And absolutely nothing, in fact. That was intended, of course. So let's change the mount and use the nebula shuttle that time. There it is. Retry the fight. Let's see if there is a difference. Nebula shuttle that time. I died just as fast as before, and I wasn't able to release any damage on the target. So let's switch the outfit again, and that time let's use the unicorn instead. And let's see if it does prevent me from taking damage. Every 12 seconds, it should prevent the damage from one skill. So if I can survive at least 12 seconds, we should notice a difference. I took the same damage at the start, by the way. Okay, 12 seconds. And I feel like I had just a bit more damage than before, but I died. And yeah, I really can't really tell if there is a difference or not. Let's just see how it goes versus other players. So I still have the unicorn equipped on my character. Nice damage coming from the heart artifact, by the way. This is pretty strong on a Warbringer. I was able to win that fight. Let's try to find another one. This one is really not tanky, worse than the previous one, so let's try to find other players. There you have a pretty nice Prophet in front, 800 billion HP, you have a pretty nice amount of attack and high regen. Let's try that fight to see how it goes. And it worked really well. So the mount is working pretty well versus mages if you are using a Warbringer, for example, because generally you can take some pre-blitz damage because you don't have a lot of attack speed. In comparison with the Plume Monarch where you have a lot of attack speed, the Plume Monarch you don't care about the unicorn to nullify the pre-blitz damage because generally you are not taking the pre-blitz damage. And you want to focus on another mount such as the crocodile if you want to increase your damage versus other and tanky players. Then just to be sure, I also tried with my Plume Monarch. So I did 2 fights versus Hell Dino, one with the unicorn and one with the crocodile. So this is the first replay with the unicorn, and normally after 12 seconds I should be able to lend back a skill to the opponent, so we are gonna see what it does. Almost 12 seconds. There he goes. So normally here he's gonna take the damage from one of these skills and no damage at all, in fact. So let's compare that with the crocodile mount. And you are gonna see the difference. Here he is already taking more damage. The crocodile mount is still the best one to increase your damage when you're a Plume Monarch and facing a tanky player. And by the way, I also tried versus another Plume Monarch with the unicorn to see if you could attack during the Blitz Assault and the Disarm, because you have a control immunity during the execution of the first skill, but in fact it's gonna last only 1 second, and after that you are getting controlled. So you are controlled, I was able to land an extra hit, and I'm still controlled, so it's not even working with that. So in that scenario, the Panda mount is gonna be better. So this is how it works on the Plume Monarch. On the Warbringer, the fact is that you have not only mages in front, you have Plume Monarchs, you have every single class, because you also have some Beast Tamers today, and so you just can't rely on one mount at all. The cheetah mount, for example, is always going to be better in defense because everybody's going to attack you, and for a Plume Monarch, for example, he's going to proc your cheetah mount. The unicorn is just not going to be great in all situations. It works only versus mages. But there is maybe another way to use that mount. On a Martial Sage, if you are very tanky, if you are fed up about the mages and the mage damage you are taking, then maybe using the unicorn is not only going to give you some more attack and damage resistance and defense, but it's also going to nullify a part of the skill damage you are going to take. So in that case, maybe the unicorn can be great. Unfortunately, I'm not very friendly with the Martial Sage tanky regen build at the moment. I need to build one to try that. I can't tell you in that video, so if you have any information, let me know in the comment below. So this is all I had to say on that video. I'm pretty sure that the unicorn is better on a tanky build to nullify a part of the damage taken from the skills. Let me know what you think about that in the comment below. Have a really nice day, guys. See you on the next one. Bye bye.